Oh yeah! Cream of the crop! Devil Dog Gaming! Step into it! Kick it! Kick it!
Everybody, it's me, Nate, aka Devil Dog, and I'm back with an epic review for Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Man, I had to play the living hell out of this game before I felt it was time to actually come out with a review, and I still ain't done with this game. It was developed by Ubisoft Quebec and published by Ubisoft, and was released on October 5th of 2018 on the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, Microsoft Windows, and oddly enough in Japan only for the Nintendo Switch. It is the 11th entry in the Assassin's Creed franchise, and in this installment you play as either Alexios, the guy, or Cassandra, the girl, both who are mercenaries who get to fight for both sides during the war in 431 BCE between the Spartans and Athens. And much like previous games in the series, it has pretty much a gigantic game world, absolutely enormous with tons of stuff to do, and this time it has a heavy focus on RPG aspects. Now, the fighting mechanics from Origins returns with a lot of upgrades and tweaks to the system, especially with the way the hitboxes are with the enemies, and it has new additions thrown in as well. Like, hands down, my personal favorite, if you couldn't tell from the opening, is your Spartan kick. That thing is just so fantastic. You can boot enemies off of cliffs and kill them, and pretty much one-shot them, just like Leonidas did in the movie 300, which is kind of funny considering you're supposed to be a descendant of them in this game. Now, you can also do other moves, also including calling on a giant rain of arrows to strike your enemies dead from the sky, which is really easy to do because as your ability bar fills up, you can activate it and do different moves as you progress and unlock them. Now, since this is an Assassin's Creed RPG, you of course have 3 different skill trees that you can unlock new abilities along the way. The skill trees consist of Hunter, which is used for unlocking all your archery moves, Warrior, which is used for your combat upgrades, and Assassin, which is used for all your different stealth moves. Now, as for the story, I'm not going to ruin anything. It can be kind of a long, very slow burn with this game, and the story is okay. It's not the worst, but it certainly ain't the best. But as you progress throughout your adventure, you're given different dialogue options with NPCs, and depending on the choices you make, can actually lead to multiple branching quests and different areas you'll actually get to go to and see. And you can even end up having romantic relationships with multiple people in this game. And even same-sex marriages, because you know what? It's the 2000s. Why the hell not? Now, along with this, you also have to remember about all the actions that you take throughout your adventure, because there is a notoriety system in this game which can lead you to being hunted down by mercenaries based on if you're committing crimes. If you're breaking into people's houses, if you're robbing them, if you're killing people, you will pay the price eventually. Now, besides all of that, you also have a very deep gear system with thousands of different pieces of items that you find throughout this adventure that pretty much I found every couple minutes you're getting a new item. I mean, really, it's kind of overwhelming with the different colored items and, what stats they have, because each one has their own different stats, which can lead to different benefits, for what sort of gear piece you're wearing. And you can also upgrade just about every damn piece you find in the game. Now, I've found it actually seems to be better just to progress through, and as you get new items, just use the new items. I mean, you might end up finding to get a rare or legendary item, but, honestly, I didn't really have a problem with just progressing and not needing to constantly collect, every single item in the damn game. Now, much like Black Flag, this game also has the return of naval combat, which I absolutely loved Black Flag, and I find the naval combat in this to be very, very refreshing and fun and challenging. Now, in this game, as you progress and you fight your enemies, you have a choice to finish them off at the end, or you can spare them and have them join your crew, and if you do, they'll meet you back and actually be on your ship as one of your members of your ship. And along with that, of course, you can upgrade the living hell out of your ship as well. Every single piece you can upgrade, the parts, the weapons, just overall strength, the hull, everything can actually be tweaked and upgraded in this game. Now, the other thing with the naval combat was the addition of something known as the war system, is where you get to go and take part in these large-scale battles and different conflicts, which I found to be pretty damn cool, but it's not really fleshed out as well as I thought it should have been. In the end, it was still well done, but honestly, to me, I didn't really get interested in it. I kind of stuck with just the normal naval battles and the normal main mode. Now, there are certain things I have to point out about this game. Problems, okay? There are certain problems with this game, and I'm not talking about glitches. I'm not going to complain about glitches in a game this overall size. I have had a couple of game-breaking bugs, but fortunately, with my saves, I haven't had any corrupted save files, and some wonky stuff here and there, but, that's not the main issue. The main issue with this game for me has to be the microtransactions. I've never been a fan of microtransactions in a full-priced game. Now, if you're paying a game, like $10, $20 or it's free, I understand you need microtransactions to make a profit. But when you're paying $60 a full price for a game, there's no reason why you should have so many damn microtransactions in this game. You have multiple different things of money, of currency in this game, and it's designed in a way to where this game is grindy as hell. Now, it wouldn't be that big of a problem, but the problem is, I personally think they designed this game to force you to buy microtransactions. I mean, seriously, there's too many microtransactions, and the way this game is, it is designed with the RPG aspects in mind to where if an enemy is a higher level than you, you can't beat him. Now, that wouldn't be a big issue, but older games and other games, you can go and beat a guy who's way stronger than you. If you're good enough and you're really good at fighting, you can be able to beat him. In this one, no, not really. If you ain't the high enough level to beat the guy, you're not going to beat him. So it forces you to grind your character to be a high enough level to progress into certain areas in this world. So if you decide, I just want to explore the whole world, that's not recommended, because you're going to end up going someplace you shouldn't, and you're going to have somebody pretty much insta-kill you, and I don't like that aspect. The RPG aspect is well implemented into this game, but that aspect is poorly designed. It is done in a way to force you down the path of microtransactions. You can play and beat this game without buying anything, but it makes it way longer than it should be. In fact, this game is well over 60 hours long. But the fact of the matter is, if you made the game to where you could progress through it at your own pace, I think you could beat it in way than half the amount of time, because they force you down all this leveling up and bullcrap. The only way to bypass that is to buy perks, to buy these microtransactions. I mean, I have a friend at work that's playing this game, and he decided to fork down $10 extra. Don't get me wrong, that's perfectly his right, and I respect that. But basically for a 50% EXP boost to where you got 50% more experience points throughout his adventure to get him through the game faster. Now, that's all fine, but once again, that's charging more money for a game you paid full price for. And that, to me, is wrong, that's disrespectful, and that's poor game design. If you want to have a game that stands out, look at Spider-Man. Good example. Full game you can play, doesn't charge you anything extra. If you want to go the route of DLC, you can, but you don't have to. You can still enjoy the full damn game without pulling your hair out, without paying an extra dime. Now, the other main problem I have with this game is there's too many damn versions of this game. There's 8 different versions of this game you can buy. There's like a normal version, a collector's edition, a gold version, a platinum version, a Leonidas underwear version. I mean, I'm kidding about that, but it's fucking ridiculous how many different versions there is of this game. You have to have a friggin' spreadsheet just to figure out what sort of perks you get from what certain version of the game you get. There's no reason why you should make that many damn versions of a game in the first damn place. You should only have 3. You should have the regular version, you should have a deluxe version, and you should have a collector's version that comes with some sort of physical item if you choose to have it. You shouldn't have 8 different versions of the same damn game. Now, the other thing which I've kind of gotten over, I still don't like, I'm not a fan of, but I can get over, is a season pass. This game also has a season pass with it. We'll have 2 upcoming DLC episodes. I wonder how long they're going to be. Now, the other thing that's kind of a neat perk is you get a remastered version of Assassin's Creed 3. Now, Assassin's Creed 3 is not the best game. I mean, I played through it and beat it, and it was okay, but it's definitely not the best Assassin's Creed game. But the fact that you get a remastered version of that, along with the Season Pass, isn't really that bad of a deal if you haven't played it already. Now that I've complained about a lot of stuff, it's time for some pros of the game. I don't want you thinking I'm just a hater of Assassin's Creed, because I'm not. Now, overall, this game is phenomenally well built. The overall game world is beautiful. It's grand. It has multiple different varying landscapes. And one moment you're like in a sandy desert. Another you're on these mountainous cliffs, going through tunnels, caves, underwater. The animal life, the AI of the animals, though can be kind of glitchy, is very well done. It does feel like a living, breathing world. And I do like the fact of just the design aspects of the NPC characters and the world that they built is very, very well done. I absolutely love it. Now, the other aspect I love of this game is the fact that it's not solely super gritty realistic anymore. It has a lot of weird stuff to it, like a lot of supernatural stuff with monsters. Like you get to fight like Medusa in this, and you got to make sure to look away when she's attacking you or she can turn you to stone. I like stuff like that. I like the supernatural aspects that are in this game. It makes it a lot more fun. It makes it a little bit more fresh compared to some of the previous Assassin's Creed games. And in this one, though, the only problem problem with that is the fact that a lot of the supernatural stuff, like the super bosses and stuff, are in-game content that you have to be massively high level to even attempt doing. But other than that, I do appreciate the fact and applaud them for putting that into this game. And also, the other thing I do love is the fact that you get different versions of the game when you start. Now, what I mean by that is you can start up the game in a regular mode, which will have all the little icons on your map to help lead you on your way to find your quests and everything. But you can also set it to an exploration mode, where it turns all that off, and you got to figure out where to go and what to do. You have to seek out quests by talking to NPCs, investigating the areas, and stuff like that, like a real-life gumshoe to actually figure out how to progress through the game, and that's pretty cool as well. And the other big addition, which I absolutely love, is the fact is you can respec your stats at any time. It does charge you a little bit of a fee. For a little small fee, you can respec your stats of your character at any time. So if you don't like a certain build of your character and you decide, well, I went down this route, I want to try this route, you can do that and mix and match and see which ones you like the best to build your character to these certain stats and abilities that you like to make you have a much funner experience. Along with that, and your little, your eagle buddy that helps you spot enemies, which is kind of odd. He can spot people underground, but you know what, that's just nitpicky stuff. In the end, I would have to say I'd like this way better than Origins. The game world is a lot better, a lot more well done. It seems to have a lot less glitches than Origins does. I don't know if that's just because I've been playing it and it's had a lot of patches since the day one launch, but in the end, the female character, Cassandra, her voice acting is very well done and I like her, but the one guy, Alexio, he kind of has a sucky voice acting. I don't really care for his voice acting, but once again, that's a minor nitpicky aspect. But overall, the sheer size of the game, the sheer amount of content you can do, the locations you can go to, the missions that you do, the fact that they've actually tweaked the fighting mechanic and made it a lot better. The animations are a little bit better, a lot less glitchiness. The battles with the boats and everything else, hands down, this is actually a pretty good Assassin's Creed game, and I did like it way better than I did Origins. Now, if you're a huge fan of the Assassin's Creed franchise and you haven't already picked this up, which I doubt, I highly recommend you pick it up. Honestly, steer clear from the super mega ultra expensive versions. Just pick up your normal version, and if you really want the DLC, go ahead and get the season pass. It's your money. I'm not going to tell you how to spend your money. I can just recommend stuff. This is only my opinion, but honestly, if you're a fan of the Assassin's Creed franchise as a whole and you've liked previous games, other than the grindy aspects and the RPG aspects of how they make this game out, I'm sure you'll actually enjoy this game as well, and it'd be great to add it to your library. I'd say rent this game, but this game is so damn friggin' huge, there's no way you could see half of even 1/100th of this game in the amount of time you rented it. And by the time you had enough play of the game, you probably spent more money in renting it than you did in just buying the damn thing. So I can actually recommend buying it or just pick it up when it's used. Now, if you aren't a fan of the Assassin's Creed franchise, this is not going to steer you. This is not going to make you change your mind. If you found that all the other Assassin's Creed games, the structure of them just didn't work for you, that wasn't your thing, you're not going to like this game either. It's basically, once again, another Assassin's Creed game with some tweaks to it. But in the end, it's pretty damn good. This was Nate, aka Devil Dog, and I want to say thank you for everyone who subscribes to my channel. Please hit that like button. Please leave a comment. Make sure to hit the bell icon so you can be notified whenever I update and upload a new video. And remember, I always end my videos by saying, have fun, play hard, and remember, people, the devil is in the details. Peace out.